Gidget today, and she is a 2-year-old German Shorthair. She seems to be pretty easily intimidated. We've been working on force fetch, and she doesn't have the most intense play drive to pick up things, so we have to go a little bit carefully with her so we don't scare her or make it too difficult for her. So we're going to start with a bumper today and see if we can't get her to play with the bumper a little bit. I don't want to go right to my buttons. I'm trying to get her to pick it up without being forced to pick it up every time. Gidget, Gidget, Gidget. All right, fetch it, Gidget, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. Good girl, fetch it, fetch it. Here, good girl. What a good girl. Gidget, here. Gidget, Gidget, here. Here, Gidget, here. And a girl. I'm going to try and get a hold of her here when she comes back to me. So I didn't want to go to hitting buttons right away. She does know what the word means, but you'll notice that I didn't say fetch in a real harsh tone. Fetch it, Gidget. Fetch it. Fetch. Fetch it. Fetch. Good girl. I want her to want to pick this object up. I don't want it always to have to be force. Good girl. Here. Good girl. Let's try that again. Give. Gidget. 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 Fetch it, Gidget. Fetch it. Fetch it. Gidget. Gidget. And you can see her lack of interest here. This has been part of why we've had to be pretty careful with her. Gidget. Gidget. Fetch it. Fetch it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to one low. Gidget. Fetch. 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 Good girl. Good girl. You can see she knows what it means, but we still want her to enjoy it and try and get her excited enough to go pick it up without having to use a button every time. Gidget. Good girl. Good girl. Give. Fetch. Fetch it. Fetch. Here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Give. Fetch. Fetch it. Fetch it. Here. Good girl. And those are all no stimulation. I only stimulated the one time. Here. Here. Good girl. Again, you have to find that balance between using the buttons all the time and having some fun in it for them. Gidget. Gidget. Fetch it. Fetch it. Fetch, Gidget. Fetch. Fetch. Gidget. Fetch. One low. Here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Fetch. Good girl. Here. Good girl. Give. Fetch. Fetch. Here. That was enforced with a one low right there. Good girl. Good girl. Gidget. Gidget. Good girl. Give. Fetch. Fetch. Here. That was a one low. Okay. I want her to be looking for the bumper more. She doesn't really look for the bumper. She gets distracted and looks at everything else. So I'd be a lot happier if I took the bumper from her and she was automatically looking to see where I might throw it. Give. Gidget. Fetch. That's better. Here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Give. Gidget. Fetch. Good girl. Gidget. Good girl. That was no stimulation, so I'm going to praise her a whole lot more. Give. One more time. Gidget. Fetch. Fetch. Here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Give. Remember not to praise after you take the object. All right, you ready? Okay, so we're going to move to a bird now with Gidget. I wanted to show you, this is an example of a bird that we would not use to force fetch with any of the dogs, really. Its legs are sticking out all cockywampus here, very, very sharp. His wing is way up here when it's frozen, and she tries to grab that. The bones of the wing are going to poke her. The head's all turned back, the beak's sticking out real sharp. This is not something we would use with a young dog, or really any dog in training. We don't want to intimidate them by having that bird poke them or scare them. So we're going to put that bird away. I'm going to pull out a bird that I would use with her. You can see this one's laying a lot flatter. Head's tucked, wings are down, legs are straight back. So you all can see that. That's a much better choice. Gidget, Gidget. Now again, we don't want to just come right out here and start pushing buttons. We want to try and make it fun for her. We want to try and get her to pick it up without having to stimulate. That doesn't mean we're not going to stimulate at some point. It just means that at first we want to try and get some fetch going on without having to stimulate the dog. Gidget, 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 gidget. All right, fetch it, fetch it. Here, good girl. Fetch it, fetch it. Fetch it, fetch it, gidget, fetch, fetch. Good, so don't give up on them. Sometimes they don't pick it up the first time. She's not all that interested in the birds, and so if I can make it fun for her, then she's going to want to go out there and pick it up. Good girl. Good. You can see the difference in her interest level with the bumper and the bird, though. The bumper is a little more exciting to her. Not a huge bit more exciting, but a little bit. Gidget, 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 gidget. All right, fetch it, fetch it. Fetch it, gidget, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. Don't give up on her. Fetch it, come on, gidget, fetch it. Fetch it, bird. Good girl, gidget, gidget, all right, gidget, gidget. And you can see this distraction. This is part of her issue. She gets distracted by everything around her. So you need to just be paying attention to that. If you were to get after her too hard and keep hitting that button over and over and over, she wouldn't be interested in playing anymore. All right, gidget, 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 gidget. Very soft dog. Yeah, this is a very soft dog. She's soft in a lot of ways, just not on the collar. We're not talking just electricity when we talk soft, because electricity tolerance varies from dog to dog. But this is a very soft dog. She can be easily intimidated. You can scare her pretty easy. And a dog like this, you have to be a little bit more careful about everything that you do. We have to find the balance in this for her. We want to make sure that there's a little bit of that fun incorporated. We also want to be sure that she understands the stimulation. Just because she's soft doesn't mean we're never going to hit the button. She's got to understand what fetch means. So that does mean sometimes we are going to hit the button. But again, I'm not going to come out here with both barrels open every time and try and really cram this down her throat. I'm going to try and find some fun in it, and I'm going to try and find the balance of, yes, you have to pick up the object. Gidget, 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 gidget. So again, don't give up. If they're not real interested at first, keep trying. Gidget, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. She doesn't really want to pick this bird up. Here, good girl, good girl. But the more I can get her to do it without stimulation, then I can go to my stimulation here and there, make sure she understands it clearly, but she'll want to go pick up the object. Okay, make sure you're praising her plenty when she does it right. Good girl. Gidget, gidget. So I made a mistake right there. I praised her after I took the bird. Gidget. Fetch it, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. Gidget, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it, fetch it. Good girl, Gidget, here. Good girl. All right, good dog. Good girl. So now I'm going to go to a one low, and I'm going to stimulate a couple of times when I send her out for this bird. Good girl. Gidget, 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 gidget. Fetch. Fetch! Fetch it! Here, good girl! Good girl. Good girl. Again, you'll see the same thing. You notice how she doesn't really watch where I throw the bird? She's looking at everything else. She's getting real interested in everything else. Fetch! Fetch! She has to pick up the object if she drops it. Good girl. Good girl. That was very nice. Good. Give. Gidget. Gidget. Fetch. Fetch. Here, good girl. That was a one low, all the way out until she had her mouth on the bird. Picked it up till she actually had the bird in her mouth. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, one thing you'll notice about this dog, is I'm not making her come back. I'm not being very harsh with my here. I'm not telling her to whoa when she gets to me. We don't want to put that kind of restrictions on this dog. She's too soft. If we put those kind of restrictions on her, she's not going to want to go and play this game. So again, we keep talking about balance. This particular dog does not need that much structure. What she needs is to try and find a little fun in this. Gidget, 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 fetch, 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 Gidget, fetch it, fetch. Here, good girl, good girl. Good girl, Gidget, give, fetch. Good girl. Good girl. Try and keep her super excited. Give. Catch it. Fetch. Fetch it. Fetch it. Good girl. I really want her to go away from me and go to that bird. Good girl. Am I using it? Yes. Yes. Good girl, give. Okay, so those last two were with stimulation. I'm going to do another one with stimulation here. If I can get her looking for the bird a little bit more, then I'm going to try a couple without. But she's got to be looking for the object when I throw it. Catch it, catch it, catch it, fetch, fetch. Here, good girl. That was a one low. Good girl, good girl. Catch it, catch it. Good. And again, you can have a really soft dog that's a 4 on the collar. That doesn't mean they're not soft. It just means they have a higher tolerance for electricity. Give. Catch it. Catch it. Fetch. Here. Good girl. That was no stimulation right there. Very good. The reason I knew I could do it with no stimulation, she was watching for that bird when I threw it. I knew she was going to go after it. Good girl. Good girl. So it's a bigger deal if they do it without stimulation. You really want to praise them. Good girl. Good girl. Give. Catch it. Catch it. Fetch it. Fetch. Fetch. Catch it. Here. Good girl. Good girl. All right. Good girl. Yay. Good dog. Good girl. Give. One more. Catch it. Here, here, beautiful, here. That's the enthusiasm I'm looking for. Very good, good girl. We're gonna quit on that one. That was fantastic. Good girl, no stimulation on that.